to beer, to music, to having fun.
And to your new composition, the Rochester Philharmonic. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. Well, Jeff, this is to a new season. So lucky and happy 22-23 RPO season.
And we're so glad you're part of it.
And you too.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Perfect. So I have a question, and it's about one of my favorite composers, Beethoven.
Well, I think there's no better and more energetic way to start a season than with Beethoven. So to start with a violin concerto with one of the greatest violinists around, Gil Shaham, and then do the Beethoven Fifth Symphony. No music has a stronger message about who we are as a species and what we can do and what we should aspire to than the message in Beethoven's music, especially in his Fifth Symphony.
Why is that so popular and so iconic?
The famous bam, you think that's kind of the quintessential Beethoven. The movement is 5 minutes long. But when I end that movement, I'm completely out of breath, like I'm normally with no other piece. He does what many composers do, describes the human condition, in this case, from night to light, which is what the German musicologists call durch Nacht zum Licht, from night to light. It has the power of compressed energy, like a nuclear energy, that no matter how much I try to hold back, I cannot evade this feeling of outbursts of energy physically. My heart is racing after that movement. And I know the same goes for the audience.
Well, I'm inspired to create new programs for the orchestra that we've never done before. One in particular is very personal for me. Well, Troupe Vertigo is one of the Cirque groups, and these are these incredible circus performers. Some of them are flying over the orchestra, some of them are jugglers, or they have various different types of apparatus that they use that are really striking and exciting to watch. The founder of the group, Aloysia Gavray, heard one of my pieces one time in one of their performances, and then subsequently, she choreographed a routine to that piece, and she said, why don't we do a whole half of a concert just to your original music? So that's pretty exciting. The other thing about that concert is I've noticed more than almost any other concert, we get the widest diversity of age. You know, grandparents come and they bring their grandkids with them to that concert. I don't get to see much of it because it's behind me.
I know what you mean when you say the action is happening behind you and you don't get to see it. So I promise to come to that show and tell you afterwards how it was.
That's great. Cheers then.
Cheers to that.
All right.
I'm particularly looking forward in the 22-23 season to have a companion piece for my beloved Brahms Requiem, because I always thought the Brahms Requiem is very hard to find a piece for the first half, so to speak. It's always very difficult, because the Brahms Requiem is such a powerful, evocative piece. So this time I had the opportunity to hire a wonderful young composer, Derek Skye, to write a companion piece specifically to be on the same program with the Brahms Requiem.
Derek Skye is a young African-American composer. He has written some music that when I heard it or saw the videos immediately appealed to me. Full of life, full of energy, full of fantasy. And I immediately had the idea to ask him to write a piece for us. What I love especially about the Brahms Requiem, it's a personal one. Brahms wrote it upon reflecting on the death of his own mother, which happened about the same time that his best friend and mentor, Robert Schumann, died. So it's a very personal piece that, has the blueprint of a requiem, but really is an expression of a composer mourning two people very close to him in a form that is absolutely unique among the requiems of the world. We all know Wynton Marsalis as a great trumpeter, but also as a very versatile musician. I mean, his programs, when he talks about music to young people, his way of playing everything from Baroque to jazz is just legendary in this country. So this violin concerto is no different. It encompasses 4 very different styles of music. There's a blues in it, and the last movement is called Hootenanny. So you can imagine that it really spreads through a big, big chapter of American insignia and an American vernacular. It's fun, fun, fun.
When I was offered a chance to do the Phils, I wanted to put an emphasis on black composers. So the first piece we're doing in the program is Adolphus Hailstork's American Fanfare. He was born in Rochester. I never knew that. The second piece is by this composer Okoye, and it's music from an opera she did about Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad, which went through Rochester. And on that concert, we have Kirsten Piper Brown, who is this internationally known soprano who lives in Rochester. And then we're doing William Grant Still's Afro-American Symphony. And come to find out, that was premiered by the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra in 1931 with Howard Hanson conducting. And then we're part of a commission of a piece called Freedom's Genuine Dawn by a new young black composer, James Lee. And it's all based on a speech given by Frederick Douglass, another Rochester connection.
We try to connect as many different walks of life and as many different members of the wonderful Rochester community with what we do on stage.
And for me personally, a good performance of a great piece reminds me and the musicians and the audience of our own potential and in general the potential of the human race, and that's something to be optimistic about.
That's amazing. I agree with you, and I often think that when somebody leaves the concert hall, they don't walk away with something they hold in their hand. They walk away with something they hold in their heart.
So here's to the 22-23 RPO season, Jeff, a season that I tremendously look forward to, and we will find new and exciting ways to connect with the Rochester community.
Cheers.